Yes.
And so I figured, is that good for the dental?
No, there's no teeth cleaning.
Oh.
There's no dental hygiene because they just don't know what it is.
Okay. I know what the saws were for amputation.
Yeah.
And,
but I do have a dental tool on my table. Yes.
That looks like a wine opener.
That's exactly the dental tool there is.
It is? It's a dental tool. And
this is a tooth extractor, and this is to extract the molars.
Wow.
The front teeth, you just tie a string around it. The other side to a horse, slap the horse. Takes off,
it pulls,
running.
It's like the old string on the door.
Right.
So like
wow.
That's right.
That's wild.
This one here just pinches the
right
tooth.
tool, but it looks like a wine thing.
So what kind of anesthetic was being used during this time?
Yeah.
Well, people were a lot tougher.
Sorry?
People were a lot tougher.
They were a lot tougher.
Did they use alcohol?
No, because it thins the blood. So
they
realized
bit on a bullet.
No, because what do you do when you're in pain?
Scream.
Before you scream. Yeah, you scream. You can scream.
Faint.
But you're exhaling. Right? So you're breathing out. Well, if you're biting down on a bullet and you're going, what are you going to do next?
Probably swallow it.
And then it goes down to the windpipe, and then there's nothing a surgeon can do.
Wow.
Now sometimes we see in the movies that they bit down on a piece of wood or something like that.
Yeah, that could happen as long as it's whiter than the mouth.
From just
that could happen. Leather straps, thick leather straps were also used.
Okay.
Lancets.
So this was for.
That's a tourniquet.
That's a tourniquet. Do you know what lancets are for?
I thought it was just for
no.
So lance boils and whatnot?
Oh,
no.
What were they used for?
You have a cold.
Okay.
This is the cure to common cold. Back then, medical thinking revolved around 4 pillars of the body, or 4 humors.
What's the nose?
Oh,
you had blood, bile, black bile, and pus.
Okay.
Sometimes they threw in urine.
For any infection.
But if you had a cold, it's just because you have too much blood in your body, so we're just going to take some out.
So it's bloodletting, or
that's what it was for. It's for bloodletting.
Like Western acupuncture.
Wow.
In a sense.
If you feel dizzy or woozy, no worries. It just means it's working.
That's interesting.
Wild.
As an acupuncturist, I actually do bloodletting.
Okay.
But we don't do it in that same way, right?
Yeah.
At most, we'll take out 10 drops of blood at a time.
There is, I believe, there was a diagram done by a German doctor. Shows all the points in the human body is actually bloodletting.
Yeah, so it's very similar.
The needles
And bloodletting, again, like I said, it comes from the Greek, the 4 humors, right?
4 pillars of the human health.
Yeah, so it's pretty old. Now, what was the most common ailment that was used, or that people would come up with at that time, like that they'd get?
Good question.
Anyway.
Definitely colds would be one of them. Malaria was omnipresent in North America. We have the Brits to thank for that because they wiped out the mosquito that was carrying malaria.
Probably the flu, right?
So these are from what time period again?
Beginning of the 19th century. So around the period of time of the War of 1812. Books are from around the American Revolution.
Okay. So because this is battlefield medicine, what was more common, a gunshot wound or a sword wound?
In North America, I would say musket shot.
A musket shot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like in that picture we saw with the guy who got shot in his arm.
Other common ailments would be injuries to the head.
Okay.
If a horse kicks.
All right. Did they still do trepanation?
They did.
Yeah?
They did. And this is the trepine and the scalpels.
Wow.
Can I ask you what those are?
Those are musket shots.
Oh, they took them out of the people.
That's what they would look like before their shot.
Yeah. And then they'd be shattered.
They could break out in pieces. And if they do, the surgeon will try to take out the main bit. There's some left, you'll just tell the patient, don't worry, your body's going to push it out eventually.
I was wondering what that tool was. Do you know what that tool is?
Don't know.
Skin retractor. Track the skin.
Oh my gosh,
To pull the skin? To pull the skin?
Yeah, so this would be used by the assistant. surgeon would retract the skin, and the assistant would just hold it in place.
So that when they were sponging blood and stuff,
They wouldn't
do that.
They wouldn't sponge blood.
What is this?
Amputation. So this is the bone saw for fingers, toes, and
cut
children
your-
under 12.
If they got,
Oh my
no,
God.
if they got infected,
Yeah.
it saved their.
This is for adults.
Yeah.
So you can see the blades are shaped differently. And that's because bones are different in adults than they are in children.
That one is weird.
It's just for the skull.
That's to drill a hole in the skull.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's to cut the skin on your head,
Yeah.
so you can cut a hole in
Like
the
a
skull.
scalpel.
That's right. And that's where the name comes
They look
from.
like, yeah, it's like
Scalpel, so
That's
cut
right.
scalp.
Oh wow.
Oh.
I didn't even think
Very
about
interesting.
that.
That's cool. So there's 3 different kinds of forceps here. I guess they all had different purposes?
They do, yes. Actually, only 2. These 2
Okay.
would be considered forceps. This is a vein clamp,
Okay.
or a vein extractor. This is a dressing forceps.
Okay.
This is a bullet extractor. So
You had to be
inside
brave
are
to be a doctor
curved
back then.
permit a good grip on the musket shot.
Wow.
Okay, cool.
The big knife, I don't know. That,
The big knife.
Yeah, it was. I don't know what
That's the amputation knife.
Another
That's a
amputation.
curved amputation knife.
Wow.
Not every surgeon would have 2. Most just had the
The
one.
little one. Okay.
Because they all had to pay for their own tools. This curved amputation knife, because of the curvature, it permits a swooping motion around the limb to be amputated. So in one motion, you could get all the way down to the
Doesn't go
bone.
like one.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a bit fuzzy on the time frame, but I remember what they would use to sort of treat the wound after the amputation or after the surgery varied from
Just
time to time.
bandages.
It was just bandages at
Yeah,
this time.
and
Okay.
don't change the bandages either.
Okay.
If you smell sweet almonds emanating from it, don't worry about it.
Oh.
Just disregard that.
Yeah.
If there are flies, though, please shoot them away.
Okay.
Because
Which is so counterintuitive today because we know that maggots are actually
they'll
good
just
for that,
eat the dead
right?
flesh.
Yeah. Oh.
So if you're ever stuck in the bush, you have gangrene, just leave your limb exposed, fly lands on it, just let it do its business, it'll lay its eggs, and the maggots will eat the dead flesh, leaving the perfectly healthy ones
Might be a bit psychologically disturbing, but yeah.
Actually, you won't feel it, but you'll definitely hear it.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
You can hear the wriggling.
Oh.
In Ottawa, we have the compost bins.
Yeah.
Flies are able to get in, although the city says they can't.
Right.
You gotta tell you open that bin, before you see them, you can hear them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's wild.
Now, did they have any understanding of blood poisoning?
Nope.
No? Okay. So, funny little red lines,
Black lines?
no big deal, eh?
Oh, look, your veins showing up.
Okay.
That just means it's bad blood, so we're gonna bloodlet it.
Maybe not, eh?
The sooner the better.
Yeah.
They understood the faster they could provide care to a patient, the better off they'll be. Then again, medical understanding wasn't all that advanced.
No. That's
for the head.
it's amazing. So they didn't have any understanding of, for instance, treating it with salt water or anything like that.
Those were amputations.
Wow.
In fact, the tools would seldomly be washed.
So no sterilization even.
They don't even know what that is. The only 2 sterile tools are these 2 here. They're sterile unknowingly because they'd be kept in hot coals until heated red or white.
Cauterization.
Yeah. So you have a cauterization rod, and this is another cauterization rod, also known as a blistering rod.
Okay, interesting. So, again, in older medicines, in traditional Chinese medicine, cauterization is a part of it. Lancing is a part of it, but usually more like around like lancing boils, lancing, that kind of stuff. This kind of stuff, though, amputation, no, not at all. Wow, that's pretty interesting. This thing here, so.
That's for the head. To drill a hole in.
Yeah, but it seems like, I mean, would it be a one-handed tool or a two-handed tool? Do you know that?
Depends how thick the skull is. Depends where you're drilling to.
I thought
Okay.
that was
For trepanations,
Yeah.
you'd always have to do it with an assistant.
No anesthesia.
Because the assistant would be the one holding the scalp apart.
Oh, what a picture.
And while the surgeon drills, mainly using one hand, because you'd want that control.
Yeah.
As soon as you start feeling the blades moving freely in the head, you want to stop, because you don't want to go through.
No, that would be bad.
That's really interesting.
That's interesting.
Wow.
They still use things like this today for when people have cesarean sections.
Oh, that's for the skin.
Yeah.
To separate your skin.
Yeah.
When you're pulling your...
The tool that you thought would be... The tool you thought would be for cleaning. It's called a tenaculum, and that would be to extract the blood vessels during the amputation.
Oh.
Like pulling them up.
Just hook it through and pull.
Wow.
Incredible.
Great. Wow.
If you have enough of it, because of that limb, it coils, then you can make a knot with itself. If not, you tie a little string around it.
God.
And you let it
How did they do that?
What did they use?
Yeah, how did they tie it
Catgut? Was it catgut or was it something else?
Just
string?
thread.
Just thread.
Just regular cotton thread.
Wow.